Go ahead.
Greetings and welcome. This is Just Another Day, episode 17 of Something in the Dark. I am your host and game master, Aaron. Something in the Dark is an actual play of Mutants and Masterminds, the world's greatest superhero RPG from Green Ronin Publishing, using concepts and themes from the Supernatural Handbook, and is set within the connected version of Earth Prime, which can be seen in many other offerings from the Untold Stories project. Mutants and Masterminds is a D20 based system which allows players and GMs to create stories featuring all of the greatest heroes of their imagination. It's flexible enough to handle most superheroic shenanigans, complex enough to handle those really weird situations, while being simple enough to be easy to play. One of my favorite things about this game is its inclusion of hero points. Now, these let our heroes re-roll a die, take an extra action, recover from a dangerous condition, or use their powers in new and creative ways. Our heroes each get to start with one of these hero points, and they can gain additional points for good role playing, funny jokes, clever decisions from me using their characters' weaknesses against them, and by your generosity. If you subscribe, renew a subscription, or donate bits to our stream, you will generate a hero point which can be given to the player, not game master, of your choice. We're a small but growing little network. All of those likes, follows, and subscribes help keep us visible and growing and paying our bills. We've already had a number of subscriptions show up, and so
Just
you'll
had
see
a
that several
like,
of our. Oh,
but
thank you so much.
I missed the name.
Well, we
Uh,
like.
I don't know. Streamlabs is being very rude to me today. So I heard the sound and I saw like, but there was nothing else there. So
it
Thank
was
you,
Warden
Warden
Maximus. Thank
Maximus.
you, Warden. Let us know who you want to give that hero point to. Um, a word of warning, unlike some of the other shows on our streams on our network, this show is rated M for mature. While it does deal with superheroes and it is set on Earth Prime, it is intended as a horror stream. On the show, we will be dealing with issues of mental health, body horror, kidnapping, torture, murder, drug use, and similarly adult topics. This show is not suitable for younger audiences and may trigger some adults. In addition, while this show will mostly take place in the city of New Orleans, and we have stolen liberally from the real world version of such, our Earth Prime version may be slightly different. Um, Finally, we'd like to call out that we have a partnership with Norse Foundry Dice. Through that partnership, USP viewers can get 10% off any purchases from Norse Foundry by using the code USP Norse with no space on their website. And what gamer doesn't need shiny new math rocks? So with that out of the way, let's meet our players for tonight, shall we? Say good deeds, heroes.
Good deeds,
Good
heroes.
deeds, heroes.
Heroes.
done dirt cheap.
Heroes, let's go ahead and have you introduce yourselves. Tell us your name, who you're playing, where else our listeners can find you, and answer our questions of the week, which is, how does your character feel about superheroes, and do they consider themselves to be one? And normally I would start with Alex, but he is not here. So I'm gonna start with Wiki.
Oh, yay. I'm so happy to be starting this shenanigans. Hi, I'm
Makes you
Wiki.
feel better. I forgot there was a question of the day.
I'm Wiki. You can find me here most of the time. I kind of live here. I play Harper Grace, our resident feral cat. She mostly doesn't think about superheroes. Lately, there's been one particular superhero on her mind.
She
And
must break you.
no, absolutely not. Absolutely, she does not consider herself a superhero. That's dumb. And Puffy.
Damn it. I was trying to look up what the question of the day was because I already forgot it. Well, while I wait for things to load, I am Aunt Puppy. I play Professor Daffodil Carey Pembroke, the resident scientist. She is Oh shit. Hold on. Okay. So found it. I found it. Don't worry, guys. I found it. I thought the question of the day was going to be explaining what we did on the time jump. I did. It's what I get for reading things while I'm at work. I like read them and then I forget about them. So I feel like she likes the idea of superheroes. She thinks it's a a fun, good thing. She definitely does not consider herself one, but I think she kind of grew up thinking that her parents were superheroes because of what the charitable work that they did and all those things. So like to her, kind of superheroes don't just mean super powered people. So I think to her, kind of superheroes can be just somebody that does good. So I don't think she necessarily has like, oh, this superhero is my favorite or anything like that. I think it's more of just like people doing super things is super to her. So with all the super, I will pass it to Jemmy.
Hi. I'm Jemmy. I play the magnificent mystical master mage of math, magic, and music muse. We're always flying by the seat of our pants there, man. I don't remember the M's. I'm playing Micah. Nearly as tired as I am. Question of the day. I mean, Micah doesn't really care. Superheroes are, they're the ones who do all the things that are on the news. That's what really Micah thinks about them. They don't consider themselves a superhero, but it's not like, oh, I don't think I'm as strong as those people on the TV. It's more of just like, it's a different niche we fill. They fill the super, and we're safe. They're going to protect us. We don't have to worry about that big threat because we've got these superheroes to protect us. It's like they're like, if you have that motivational presence, good for you. I'm gonna go keep beating up the monsters in the back alley so that people don't die to them. And that's kind of where their opinions end. Deuce?
Howdy, everybody. I'm the Deuce. I'm the simple man to Kevin's uh, Freebird of the Leonard Skinner discography of the Untold Stories Project.
I
Mhm.
really thought you would have been that smell.
I mean, definitely not Sweet Home Alabama. But with that said, I'm playing Larry, the mild-mannered priest, and his dark passenger Babel. And the question of the day actually aligns very much with the professor's in that his belief in superheroes are people who do whatever is within their ability to help their fellow man and attempt to make the world a better place, however that may be. Whether it is someone flying through the air and beating the villain, all the way down to someone who just offers a lending or a caring ear and a gentle hand to someone who needs it. So does he think of himself that way? Not as much. He just feels blessed that he's able to give comfort to some of the people who may need it from time to time. And with that horribly melodramatic ending to my normally pithy upper start, we're going to go to Brandon.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brandon. I play Orpheus and up until recently, also Eurydice. And to answer the question of the day for Orpheus alone, because we have no idea where Eurydice is to ask her. Orpheus loves superheroes. They're fantastic. I mean, he grew up in an age of heroes. He was a hero himself. And they make for really great stories that he can later tell. So he's all about the superheroes. And with that, I will pass it to Aaron.
Alrighty.
Oh, I forgot to add one thing. Because Warden gave me that hero point, I'm going to go ahead and give my subscription hero point to myself as well to just go completely crazy. And I have a feeling I'm going to need it anyway.
Right. So when last we saw our heroes, they had managed to drive Alice Keiteler out of New Orleans, probably, certainly away from the club where she was headquartered. Um, although they did not manage to kick her out of the body of her descendant, Josephine. They defeated Kid Grim, making a vow to turn him into a ring. And they had managed to both work alongside and get the respect of, and also royally piss off members of the Night Watch, to varying degrees. In addition to all of that, Eurydice was yanked into a portal by Persephone, and then shortly afterwards, Orpheus returned to Earth without Eurydice's spirit still inside of their shared body, and with no memory of what happened while the two of them were in the underworld. Our heroes decided to go their separate ways, hopefully resuming the hunt for Alice the next day. We're now going to have another little time jump. A few weeks have passed from then, taking us to mid-February. Let's say Friday, February 16th. So the Friday after Mardi Gras. So heroes, how have you all been spending this month or so up until this Friday? And we'll start with Harper.
Once again, happy to be kicking off this shenanigan. Basically, much of the same as always. Out hunting, specifically keeping an eye out for that stupid witch, and maybe manufacturing some, run-ins with a certain superhero team. We just keep bumping into each other. I don't know what's going on. But the big new thing is spending time with Micah, learning how to be a ritualist. Because she ended up keeping that very special book, and she wants to know how to use it.
All right. Well, then that will naturally roll us into Micah. Other than teaching Harper how to do magic, what has Micah been doing for this past month?
Well, aside from, as said, teaching Harper some magic, part of Micah's time has been spent back in arcade to mostly just keep working on making Kid Grim into a ring because they're petty.
Because fuck that guy. That's why.
Yeah, because they're petty and annoyed and remembered that it was possible and went, all right, I'm doing that. Probably asking Henry to help out with it. Way to bond with the other supernatural team department kind of stuff.
Yes, Warden, exactly. The arcane study of Norwegian fart magic.
Aside from that, Micah still has a day job to do.
They sure do.
So, teaching. A lot of the time has been spent teaching at school. And with some of that free time also being spent going, I need to figure out more cover stories I can have, because realizing that working with arcade means I'm apparently going to need lots and lots of good excuses to call days off.
If it makes you feel better, up until Tuesday for the week before, you had it pretty easy. They're pretty easy days for from Tuesday to Tuesday, maybe even Monday to Tuesday.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. A lot of it's just been studying. I mean, of course, there's always the keep an eye out, make sure things aren't going bad. Oh, and in the last bit of time, the one thing that they have been a bit confused about is all the pressure that has apparently been accompanied with the title of Master Mage, because they didn't know this. This is the title it was just part of what they were given. So the fact that Alice had made such a point about Master Mage has Micah going, okay, what do I need to know about apparently my own powers?
Okay. Hey Jimmy.
Hey, yeah.
Why don't you give me an expertise sacred math?
Hey, how about I just give you a compromise and I don't do that? And instead, I just skill mastery that and just tell you it's a 25.
Okay, with a 25. So you are aware that there is the title of the Master Mage, singular. They are basically the embodiment of magical and power for any given. You're not certain if it's planet or dimension. It might be the Master Mage of the Earth dimension. It might be the Master Mage of the Earth. You've heard it referred to as both. You know that the title is passed down from teacher to student, and wizards being wizards, they don't necessarily, change over real quickly because some wizards live a very long time.
Yeah.
You're certainly aware that Merlin was at one point the Master Mage of Earth. You're aware that, you're now aware that Alice was apprenticed to Merlin. And you know that sometime around the late 1800s, early 1900s, the Master Mage was named Black Crow. He was native tribe in American Southwest. Most recently, the Master Mage of Earth had been Adrian Eldritch, who passed the title on to his protege, Seven. And as far as you are able to discern, because Seven is now the queen of the Netherworld, you think that a member of the current Freedom League is the Master Mage. You think it's the Gem Mage known as Resonant.
Okay.
Have not been able to get a hold of them, though, to try to talk to them.
Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah. So that's what you're able to find out. In addition to the title of Master Mage, there are other titles that exist for important magical responsibilities, for want of a better term. For instance, there's a superhero out in San Francisco known as Gatekeeper, who is literally the guardian of the gateways between dimensions. And
my territory.
There is also you know that another member of the Freedom League, Mortis, is the guardian of the Crossroads, which is a connection between the different afterlife realms.
Fun.
So yeah, that's about what you're able to determine. You don't know why anyone is saying that you are a Master Mage, because you certainly didn't
study under anyone.
Yep. So but yeah, a couple of the notable Master Mages, in addition to Broken Crow and Adrian Eldritch, was Lady Violet Pennyworth from 1890 to 1895. Not very long. Simon Magus was the Master Mage sometime around the 1st century AD. And Malador the Mystic was a Master Mage back during the time of ancient Atlantis.
He got turned into a face.
Yep. There's also titles called the Light Bearer and the Shadow Touched, which you're not real sure about what that's all about, but there is a similar mystic mantle that goes with those titles. So, so yeah, that's what you know.
Woo!
And that takes you a while to research.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what you've been up to. I want to do Orpheus last. So, Larry.
Larry has spent some time helping pushing Joshua further ahead as the face and the prominent figurehead in the Church of Adam, letting him take on more of the roles, leading several of the sermons and some of the breakfasts as he's taken more of a backseat. Also, Lauren is another one of the faithful that he's kind of pushed up to help him. He's still helping with a lot of the back end, the bookkeeping, and he is present, though not nearly as much, in handing the reins over, but ensuring that it's being kept in good hands and being there to assist as much as he can, though a lot of his time is spent more in self-reflection, just trying to come to grips with how he feels things are progressing. It seems like his other half is getting more powerful. He's trying to make sure he's got a hold on that and reassessing the nature of their relationship and wondering if it's really been as long as it has been because the time seemed to just fly by way too quickly.
Okay.
Nothing to worry about there.
Anything you feel like sharing about how Natalie's been doing since she's been in the shelter? Or Nyx?
Or Nyx, yeah. He's tried to help integrate her as best he can, knowing where she's come from and some of the other faithful, but some of the other of his quote-unquote flock, and their backgrounds. He's hoping to use that to make her feel more at home. As to how well it's been doing, I don't know. Let's leave it up to fate because it's more fun that way. I feel like she's taken to it in the second chance and just getting away from several of the vices, and she's actually become more of a stronger voice in helping other people too, from the more chemical of vices that people tend to partake of, and as she's getting over it, she's managed to help some people do the same. So having that experienced voice in getting away from it is an unexpected and helpful boon to the church, at least according to that role.
Yeah. Say if you've ever seen, there's a show called Louder Milk that is all about a recovery group, and I kind of I'm getting vibes of Claire, who is one of the main characters, off of Nyx. So, for what that's worth.
So be it. Seems to be the case.
All right, Carrie.
So Carrie would have gone back to teach and working in the labs, and she's had to kind of cancel some of her labs. A lot of her students are getting kind of antsy since they're getting close to where they're going to have to start presenting some of their theses. So
Theses?
Yeah, I was like, thesis? Like theses?
Like the Reese's.
Yeah.
Reese's Pieces.
It might be one of those. It might be one of those words where the singular and the
Thesis?
plural is the same.
Yeah.
It's just thesis.
No, it's theses.
It
You
is
know,
theses.
because when you're done with it, you feel like feces.
Oh God.
Okay. So she's definitely dealing with some of her more panicked students that have hit their edge, and so she's been spending a little bit more time doing that, while also researching, and not telling anybody that she's researching how to raise the dead. More specifically, how she can find and raise a specific person. So she's been doing that research, and while doing that, I imagine her kind of in her lab, working away, and her doorbell going off, and with things that have happened in her previous life, she's got a lot more security measures in her lab and her flat. So she, has Tui come on and ask, who's at the front door, and he shows a video, and her parents decided to surprise her for Mardi Gras since since they haven't been in a while, that they came back and kind of surprised her for kind of an extended weekend, to enjoy Mardi Gras and kind of just see what she's doing, and check up on her, since it has not been nearly as long between traumatic incidences for her. So they just wanted to come and visit. Since she came and visited them for Christmas, they came and kind of did a quick little visit to see how her lab was working, since she had to rebuild it.
Fair. So they've only been gone for a day or two at this point.
Correct. Yeah. So she's just she's just regrouping and trying to get back focused on what she was working on, and what she was researching and all that.
All right. And finally, what is Orpheus been up to? I know what Eurydice's been up to, but
Good. I can't wait to find out. So Orpheus normally would be having many, many lectures with Carrie about why bringing someone back from the dead is a terrible, awful, no good, very bad thing. Citing several examples, including his own life.
She definitely didn't tell anybody she was doing that.
But he doesn't know she's doing that because he is very, very distracted right now. He is really, really working hard at practicing his meditation. Trying to remain calm, trying to remember that Persephone can be trusted. Persephone has always done good by them. That if she took away his memory, there was a reason for that, and he probably shouldn't go poking and prodding, because he'd only end up making things worse. And that trusting both his wife and his patron, I guess, know what they're doing.
I feel like I feel like he just kind of pops in and out of every single person for he just comes in, just aggressively gets really upset about something, just kind of yells, and then just leaves, and no one sees him again.
Probably. He's been very snippy.
Yeah.
For the last month. He is also working subtly and very carefully to try and figure out at the edges what might be going on, what might be the reason for this. Is there a problem in the underworld? Is there an issue with the gods? Is there anything kind of out of balance right now that might hint at what's going on, so it can at least be a little better prepared when his memory is returned?
Sure. I like it. I will allow either a expertise magic or or an investigation check.
Well, I don't have expertise magic, but I do have bardic lore.
Right.
So I am going to go with that because it's better than my investigation.
Okay.
Wow. And I rolled a 19 and got a 31.
Nice. Okie dokie. So because you're trying to do it subtly, you're not able to necessarily get as much information as you would if you were willing to, throw open the floodgates and let it be known that you're digging around and asking questions. But with a 31, you're still able to discover quite a bit. So among the things that you are aware of is there is at least one new demigod who has appeared in the past 6 months. who is currently training with the next gen in Freedom City.
I just hope they're not connected to Eris.
That said, no one is 100% sure what deity is their divine parent. So you got a little bit of a Percy Jackson situation going on there.
And I understood that reference because I've been watching the Disney Plus show.
In terms of the underworld, you are able to determine that things seem to mostly be pretty quiet. If anything, Hades and Persephone seem to be doing, I don't want to say an overzealous job of maintaining their borders and keeping, control over their charges. Like, not like aggressively, but maybe a little bit more on their game than normal.
Do I think it might be connected to the fact that our friend came to us by way of Hades?
You're going to need to be more specific.
Anson.
Oh, you're not sure.
Okay.
Because from what Anson has told you, you're not 100% sure that your Hades is his Hades.
Okay.
Other than that, you are able to also determine that the gods do seem to be a little on edge. People who get their powers from, it's not like you can have any of them on speed dial. But people who gain their powers and abilities from the gods, you get just a sense that maybe the gods are gearing up for something big, but so far no one is talking about it. There's just kind of a tension in the air.
Okay.
So
that helps me calm down a lot. That's reassuring.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's fine.
I'm gonna go meditate now.
One thing I will also tell you, because you got over a 30, of all of them, it seems to be most centered around Demeter.
Don't mind me, I'm not looking up what Demeter is in charge of.
She's Persephone's mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking that was probably the case. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm pretty sure that's Persephone's mom, and
Goddess of nature.
probably, and it's probably like at least an aunt-in-law of mine.
Probably.
Because, nymphs.
Yeah. And so I'm assuming that Orpheus had a somewhat more muted Mardi Gras than normal.
Oh yeah, worst Mardi Gras ever.
Especially because Dee wasn't around to make all the plants grow on the float.
Exactly. Yeah, that was a rough one. Figuring that out. And
how do people without magic do this?
Yeah. I mean, show must go on. He found a way of it. It was still a fantastic show. But regulars would notice that it was maybe lost half a step.
Yeah.
And it was exhausting for him to have to put on that mask, both figuratively and literally, during the parade and the after party.
All right. So it is a few days after Mardi Gras. It is the Friday following. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So, Carrie, you're done with classes. Micah is also done with classes. Harper is up and out of bed. When all of you get a message from Arcade saying that Director Vance would like to speak with all of you.
Yay.
I'm gonna head over.
Harper.
Be there.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna head over there.
Okay.
No, we're gonna say no to our boss.
Show up just a little bit late, but
Okay.
we'll get there.
Is Carrie coming?
She'll probably be extra late
Okay.
because she's made a breakthrough, so she wants to finish what she's doing before she leaves.
You're not breaking it back. You're just shocking lizard brain. Stop it.
Does Harper not sleep? I know we gave you immunity to sleep, but I kind of thought that was because Harper more just kind of cat naps here and there. And
Yeah, she avoids sleep at all costs.
got
I
it.
didn't even think of that. He is
Um,
up for 24 hours a day.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's really getting to him.
Sometimes she'll go take a nap out of like wanting to be more human. I mean, like, I've been awake for like 72 hours. I should probably go to
Let
sleep.
my brain sort.
Yeah, like she can sleep. She has the
Right.
ability to sleep, but she avoids it
Okay.
for, reasons.
All right. So it's getting into early evening when everyone arrives to the pit. And when you guys get there, you'll see in Director Vance's office that Erica is there with several books in front of her and a notepad, not a computer. And she just kind of looks up at you with a combined, I'm grateful to be here, but at the same time, you couldn't have let me just run off with the vampire cult? Like, not a seriously wanting that, but that moment of like,
Would it
I'm
really have been
sorry
that bad?
that maybe that wasn't such a terrible option. As you all arrive, the director will greet you and say, let's go ahead and just get right to it. We need to send you on an assignment. It's going to take you away from the city. Hopefully not for more than a few days. Based on the wonderful work that you did involving the break-in at Mr. Levi's store, this one should be right up your alley, and frankly doesn't need the kind of body count that would likely happen if I sent Dutch. Camden, Maine. There is an antiques collector who lives there, whose home was broken into and stolen from. This collector is interested in occult collections, is a bit of a practitioner himself, and was a contact of one of our assets who is living in Camden. She wasn't an arcade agent, but she was one of our assets. He was very concerned about the break-in, and especially the fact that all that was taken was 2 books. From what we have gleaned through secondhand reports, the books gave off some sort of negative energy. Our asset, a woman named Tracy Gardner, passed the message on to us about that theft, and has not been heard from since she passed that message on.
Said Tracy Gardner?
Yes. We've made contact with the collector. His name is Darren Abernathy. He has agreed to meet with you to discuss what was stolen and what he knows. He does not know you are members of a government agency. He believes you are simply mystic troubleshooters. He doesn't know anything about arcade, and you will only confuse him if you tell him about it. I don't have a lot of other information. although I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Otherwise, we have a red-eye flight booked for you later this evening.
Carrie just thinks to herself, ugh, commercial.
Yes. She will share with you a photo of Darren Abernathy.
It's exactly like the kind of white guy that would collect occult stuff.
And Tracy Gardner. And I see Wiki is sharing that with our audience. Tracy and Darren. So, like I said, I'm happy to answer any questions. I have not yet booked lodging for you. I figured you probably wanted to do that yourself. However, if you need me to make arrangements, we can certainly do so.
Only if you want to book half a hotel. Didn't say that, but man, I want to.
I miss the days when you could just perform in the tavern hall and get a good night's sleep that way.
I mean, Carrie can just throw money at it.
Like I said, we are capable of booking your rooms, but I also know that the last time you traveled, you did so in a rather extravagant fashion, and I didn't know if that was what you'd like to stick with.
Feels very pointed, and Carrie does not appreciate it. Carrie just has very expensive taste.
Carrie is high maintenance.
A little bit.
Rude.
But not wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think Carrie.
I didn't say it was wrong. I just said it was rude.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Yeah.
Don't mind me, I'm just Googling hotels in Camden.
So, what exactly do you want us to do?
At a bare minimum, meet with Mr. Abernathy, find out what you can about these books, and if possible, track them down. It would also be ideal if you're able to figure out what has happened to Miss Gardner. We don't know enough about the books to know how big of a deal this is, but there's enough that is poking at my spidey senses that I thought it was worth sending a team to investigate.
Cool. When do we
I
leave?
mean, sounds like all the information's there, so most of the information we need's at the location.
She will give you cell phone numbers for both Darren Abernathy and for Tracy Gardner, as well as the address of their homes. And she'll also she will offer that she can call Mr. Abernathy and tell him that you guys will be there tomorrow and to set up a meeting, or you can call him directly. It's entirely up to you.
We should probably handle that ourselves.
For sure, I think it's easier.
What was that?
So I think it'd be easier to have Arcade set it up. Just one less thing for us to worry about.
Except that if there are any delays getting there, we
Somebody
don't want
just explained there were some delays.
this person hanging around waiting for us. We're not the cable guy. I don't know. I don't care either way.
I
Hey,
think it
Harp.
would be appreciated if you gave them a heads up and arranged the meeting.
Very well. I will text you the information. Harper,
Mm.
hearing something.
What?
Said Harper, you are hearing something.
What am I hearing?
You are hearing a certain voice saying, "This is really beneath you. I don't know why on earth they're sending you to go and look at books. You're a hunter of the supernatural."
And I ignore him.
Okay. That's fine.
Ooh, quackers.
So, local law enforcement interference possible.
Possible. We don't have any connections. We might be able to, if you manage to get yourselves arrested, we might be able to get you out, but it will not be immediate. Camden is not exactly a large city.
A shit ton of outsiders coming in. Although I will say they have some really cute hotels. And I just got myself like super distracted by them all because they are adorable.
Mhm.
I will pointedly look at Carrie and say, I think I'll pick the hotel.
Okay.
I second that.
I mean, they're so cute though. There's like one of them's called the Blackberry Inn. How adorable is that? It's like a little bed and breakfast.
Yeah,
I don't think
sounds super adorable and completely inside the radar. So no.
So cute.
It is worth pointing out that Camden does have a decent bit of it's a bit of a tourist attraction in the summer. Not so much
Not so much right now.
Well, is there something unattractive about Maine in the winter?
I mean, exactly.
Guess
I don't
we
know
might
what that
be,
could
getting
possibly
that
be.
sponsorship from the Tourism Board of Maine.
But I
Look.
love Old Bay seasoning.
Look, I love Maine, but
Yeah.
I'm just going to share a story. Years ago, my brother was going to art school in Boston. And yes, I know that's not Maine, but it's close. And my wife and I went to go visit him. Got off the train from the airport to downtown where his apartment was because he was, like I said, going to art school. It was bitterly cold. And literally the first thing my brother says to me as we step off that train was, "Who the thought it was a good idea to build a colony here?"
Well, they got there in the spring or summer and thought, oh, it's so pretty.
Right, exactly. So
Yeah, 6 feet of snow dropped the day after my son was born.
yep. So
Oh my god, this one's a castle.
Absolutely not.
It's
I am
so
going to
cute.
walk over and like just take her laptop or tablet or both, whatever it is
It has,
she's
like,
working on.
twisted-
I am literally just going to take them.
Oh god.
No.
It's so cute. It's
This is
so cute.
absolutely the conversation that is happening, by the way.
Oh yeah, 100%. I feel like Carrie's like listening to everyone talk about like what they're gonna do, and she's like making mental notes of things, but then she's also like, but this one has a little pool with a little bed and breakfast. Like that's what she's
You know, back in my day, you just had a bedroll and maybe a little piece of, I don't know, cloth of burlap to put over you to protect you from the elements.
I mean, that was also in the Mediterranean. So, um,
Hush, disembodied voice.
They also didn't have indoor plumbing back in your day, so
Rock's
maybe
having a
don't
life expectancy beyond 25.
brag about that or something.
Hey. If you lived to 25, then your life expectancy was only a couple years less than it is now.
that's true.
That's actually a true story. Like, the reason life expectancy is lower with the further we go back in history, just because of how deadly it was to be a child.
Okay, so, then if there's nothing else, Director Vance will say, well, you might want to go get your things packed and get to the airport.
I'm ready now.
Carrie kind of comes by and like snatches her tablet back so that she can program Tui to make sure to feed the cat and keep the lab alive.
For the record, how does Harper plan to get her weapons on the plane?
Yeah, Harper. How do you expect that? Because the last time we flew private.
Hey Harper, hand me your weapons.
Oh, damn those fucking pocket dimensions.
I can't really detach my hands.
Not those, the daggers.
All the things that are going to get you pulled off the line while we're trying to get on the plane.
It's weird when Muse attaches Harper's hands.
So here's
Sorry,
the thing.
disconnect them for a moment. Like a Barbie doll.
Here's the thing. The entirety of me is going to get me pulled out into the TSA line. You see me, right?
Yes, but we want you also eventually put back in line. So all the things that will make you permanently pulled out of line are what we need.
Mhm.
I am not dumb or inexperienced with travel. And I will hand my daggers to Muse. For the
Yes.
record, I have 2 actual weapons.
Sorry.
Righty and lefty.
I know it's not a musical instrument. Just hold it.
Like every person from New Orleans who finds themselves going north, you know, everyone from New Orleans, where it is currently 64 degrees. I am frantically trying to find any store that has even a windbreaker. Because I've lived down here for a very long time, so I haven't purchased any kind of winter gear in quite a while.
Yep. All right. I mean, fortunately, there are some such things to purchase, if nothing else, in like touristy shops, because tourists want jackets that they can take back home and wear. All right, so unless anyone wants to do something crazy, you guys will board the red eye and hit Camden, Maine, and arrive about 7:30 in the morning. Where did you end up deciding to stay?
So Harper will have, as we're, well, she's just gonna be like, get into a cab and the cab driver just go, take us to the second most popular motel. So they're probably going to end up at like a Motel 6 or something.
Can't even get a red roof in.
Well,
Did you not look at the chat? Did you not see the adorable little on the riverfront cottages
Shut up.
that Carrie found? Did you not see how cute they are? And they're secluded. Also, it would have had to been a van that we got into, not a taxi cab. Would have had to
Well, actually, you probably would have had to purchase or rent a vehicle because there is not an airport in Camden. You would have to have
yeah, I
flown.
think it was in Rockford.
The closest airports would be either Portland or Bangor.
Okay, that's even better because 100% Harper's driving. And
Oh,
she
God.
literally, as soon as we get into Camden, she pulls into the very first seedy looking motel that we see.
Well, there aren't really any seedy looking motels.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the roadside motel that you're like, it may
Harper?
cost $150 a night, but
That roadway in on the corner of Bryce and 70.
Harper, I don't know about the El Rancho Inn. This seems a little suspect.
Right. So you're at the Hampton Inn and Suites, which is just outside of Camden.
there we go. That works.
And you will have, while you were flying, you will have all received a message from Director Vance letting you know that Darren Abernathy has agreed to meet with you at 1 o'clock at the Camden Deli.
Oh, Carrie's starving, so she's excited.
So.
Do we have enough time to like drop our bags, or is it like we check in run?
You have enough time to drop off your bags and maybe even take a shower. But you don't really have time to do much more than that. So hopefully you slept on the flight or don't need to sleep.
I mean, the way Harper drives, you got time for breakfast and do all that and maybe watch a movie.
All right. So after a little while, you guys will, unless someone wants to tell me otherwise, you will show up at the Camden Deli.
Larry does leave the hotel dressed up, full on suit. I mean, he's to the nines, black suit, vest.
Okay.
Carrie is uncomfortable.
Larry?
Yeah.
Not Babel?
No strange writing, so it's me.
Muse, can you just hit him with the tablet real quick just to be sure?
I guess.
Okay. Fancy suits seem more his thing.
I think he's trying to look professional.
I've just dropped into your journals a picture of the Camden Deli so you can see it.
Oh, it's so cute.
God. Carrie, who said cute one more time?
Gary says cute one more time. It'll be 5 minutes from now.
But it's so cute.
Well, that was nice knowing Carrie.
There are a number of people sitting there eating. They it's lunchtime, so there's a lot of soup and sandwiches and salads being eaten. It is far too cold for anyone to be using the ocean view dining area, but
Maybe if you're a weakling.
well, sorry, there is a ocean view area which is up on the second floor that looks out over the ocean, and then there is a deck. People are in the ocean view area, but not out on the decks.
By the way, you probably all notice at every mealtime, Orpheus looks just a little bit more sullen because Eurydice is a literal expert at cooking and made all his meals for him.
Yep.
And nothing tastes nearly as good as his wife's food made with love.
So when you arrive looking all, well, like you,
I look uncomfortable in my leather coat, my leather jacket, because it's got sleeves and I don't know really what to do with that.
and you will see Darren Abernathy in the cafe. He arrived ahead of you. He is sitting at one of the tables near the counter where you would order with a cup of coffee and a newspaper. Anyone who'd like can give me an insight check.
Sure,
I'd be happy to fail one of those for you.
Yeah.
25.
Completely trust Obi.
Oh God.
I'm good at insight. I just rolled a 2.
25.
Okay. So Larry, Harper, and Orpheus, you can all tell that he is trying his best to look calm and relaxed. But you're also quite certain from the way that he has been rustling the pages of the newspaper that he probably hasn't actually read a word of it and is trying to hold in a great deal of anxiety and fear.
Cool.
He'll stand and extend offer a hand, and you are the friends of Tracy.
Mr.
Yep.
Abernathy, good to see you. Yes, sir. Come to help look into the problem that you have.
I will admit I wasn't sure what to expect, but in some ways you actually, you know, that thing where you're like, I don't know what I was expected, but this is it. Yeah.
Unique problems call for unique solutions, and we'll hopefully be able to help with that.
Yeah. Before we begin speaking, would you like some lunch? The Reuben is to die for. Of course, the clam chowder is wonderful.
Coffee for me, and back to everyone else.
Yeah,
I
both
guess
of
I'll-
those sound
I
pretty
guess
good.
I'll have a clam chowder.
Okay, so
Carrie basically wants one of everything on the menu. She is starving. So
Look at this tart. It's so cute.
Oh my God.
oh,
oh my God. Do they really have little tart desserts? Oh my God, I'm gonna Google it right now.
their handmade desserts are one of their or not handmade, homemade desserts are one of their specialties.
Oh no.
Okay, so Carrie may not be excited about it, but and Puppy is very excited about it because she loves tarts.
They also have a full bar.
So now we know where Aunt Puppy is going for vacation this summer.
I was looking at their tourism board website. I'm like, we could go do a fest up in Maine. But all right. So after everyone gets whatever it is they wish to eat and or drink, he will lead you all to one of the larger tables in the the ocean view room, which is mostly empty because even though, it is insulated, it's still really, really bitterly cold. And the view is not currently, it's a lot of frozen stuff and bare trees, and so not a lot of people choose to sit up here at this time of day. It's not bitterly cold in this room, but it is chilly, especially for those of you who are used to living in either the Mediterranean or New Orleans.
Or both.
Or both.
Harper is going to specifically be keeping an eye on the other, sort of the rest of the people in and around them, and the people that come and go, and just keeping an eye out, keeping a
Sure.
sense of.
So and Darren will say, I brought us up here because generally there isn't a lot of traffic up here in the winter. I wouldn't expect anyone else to come up. We should still probably try to keep our voices down, but and they have a deli counter and a bar. They don't have wandering wait staff, so.
They have a breakfast specialty called the Boston Tea Party, and that's adorable.
Oh my god.
So yes, thank you for coming. Where to begin? How familiar are all of you with history?
A little bit.
That's a very broad subject. Care to be more specific?
The fall of Constantinople.
We all kind of look over it. Orpheus for sure, but
Well, I gotta wait till I roll to figure out whether or not I spent time there at that time.
Demi just needs a moment because the first thing I hear is the fall of Constantinople, and my first thought is that they might be giant stocks.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I was there at the fall of Constantinople.
Istanbul was Constantinople, now it's Istanbul, not Constantinople.
So, there was a book that was in the possession of an order of monks in the Cistern of Jordan. They knew, because of divination, that Constantinople would fall, and they set about burying their treasures, with the exception of one book. That book came from a Greek soldier who was the only survivor of a shipwreck. And whatever he saw while his ship was sailing around the southern tip of Africa was so terrible that he had bitten off his own tongue. So all that he was able to recount was written in this text. The story of the pages was wild and crazy, and lost to history, but there were musical notes written on the pages.
Like he wrote the story in musical notes, or he wrote the story and there were extra notations of musical notes?
Again, this has been lost to antiquity, so I'm not entirely certain.
Okay.
But what I do know is that the music would drive people who tried to understand it insane. The monks of Constantinople realized nobody should ever find these books, or this book, and tore the pages of the book out. But they could not destroy them. They would not burn. They would not stain. And although they could rub the letters until they nearly faded from the page, they could not completely eradicate the impressions that were left on the page. These monks each took a handful of papers and scattered them, where they were reused and written over and became parts of other works. In the past century, there were 2 books, one put together by the Nazis and one from the spiritualist movement in England, bringing the pages of those books together. I was able to obtain both of these books from collectors who did not realize what it was they had. I put them under mystical seals and wards in my home. And then Tuesday night, my home was broken into, and the only things that were taken were these books. That morning, before I could even call the police or call anyone else, I received a phone call from Tracy, who told me that she had had terrible, terrible nightmares that night of the end of the world. I knew that the books exuded mystic or negative energy. This is why I put them under ward. But she said that she had friends who could perhaps help with the investigation and urged me not to call the police. So I have not done so.
So
Thank you.
she thought that these nightmares she was having were tied to these books?
Yes.
Do these 2 books contain all the pages?
I don't know. I presume so. I acquired them. I was not foolish enough to try to read them or.
So you never opened them?
Oh no.
Did Tracy explain what kind of apocalypse her dreams were about?
He talked about a great beast.
A great what?
Beast.
Beast.
And just then that the world was overrun with monsters and creatures, and there was madness.
Could you tell us anything more about the break-in other than there was one?
There's not a lot to say. I was away. I was visiting a lady friend.
Was this a planned trip or an unplanned trip?
More or less unplanned. I mean, nothing. She lives here in town. I was just not home.
Okay.
More often she comes and stays with me than the other way around, but
Okay.
But my staying at her place is not unheard of. We had been drinking a bit much and decided rather than drive back to, especially with the snow and the ice, we would simply stay in at her home. It's a lovely little place just outside of town. And yes, then I came home, saw that my window had been forced open. Saw that.
Which window? Like, was it was it an obvious, like, someone outside of your home could have seen someone breaking in, or was it a hidden away type window?
It was on the side of the house.
Okay.
And then, yes, that my library had been rifled through, and the cases where the books were kept, which, as I said, had been warded, those two cases were shattered. They were not in the same case. I did not think it was a great plan to put them together. But I did think that with the wards in place, they were as safe with me as they would be anywhere.
What kind
What?
of wards?
Yeah. I was just gonna ask that. What kind of warding?
Wards of protection and
Not of a specific nature, like to keep specific things away, or just a generic protection spell?
well, general, yes. Both to keep energies contained within and to make it difficult for exterior magics to affect them.
Did anything weird happen before you left? Strange noises, strange smells, strange lights flickering.
No, we met for lunch, and then after lunch, I had some business to take care of. She's a retiree, and she went back to her apartment. I went to my office, made some phone calls, and then around, I don't know, 4, I went over to her home, and then yes, we were watching a movie on the streaming service. It was a musical of some sort, about one of the founding fathers, Madison. I don't remember. But in any case,
Carrie's just internally screaming Hamilton, but like doesn't want to be that person. So.
yeah. But no, we had. She made dinner. We had some wine, and then yes, we decided that we would stay there rather than come back to my home because again, snow and ice. And
How long ago did you acquire these books?
I've had them. Well, I had the first volume for the better part of 18 years. And the second volume I acquired perhaps 9 years ago.
How long ago did you meet this woman?
20 years. Our relationship was complicated. But
Yeah. She's married. You were married. Whatever. Don't care.
Not relevant to the story.
Yeah.
Do you have any sort of security system?
Only magical ones.
Carrie's very upset about that.
I had a security system, but it kept fritzing out. I've heard that magic and technology don't always play nicely together.
They definitely don't.
Perhaps by your leave, we can visit your home and take a bit closer look at the scene.
Of course, by all means.
Do you know if any of your neighbors have a security system that they might have been able to catch someone coming in or out of your property?
I don't know. It's possible.
You know, one of those doorbells with the cameras on it, that kind of thing.
The houses in my neighborhood are not terribly close packed together, but it's possible.
Okay.
Anyone who'd like can give me a persuasion. I don't think deception, because I don't think any of you have been trying to trick him.
I'll do persuasion.
And I don't think intimidation either, because I don't think any of you are trying to scare him yet. But anyone who'd like can give me a persuasion check.
34. Roll 20 is
I
asking for forgiveness from me.
I swear to all things holy.
Is that your second 19 tonight?
I rolled a 19, a 17, and a 19 so far tonight.
Wow. I do recall perhaps a month ago I had received an email from a collector named Hawthorne who had heard that I had the books and wanted to purchase them from me. I've had several inquiries over the years about them. But I do remember that this Mr. Hawthorne does own an antique shop. Perhaps there's some connection there.
At least sounds like something worth checking out.
Would you grant me access to your email information to be able to try and trace where this person originated?
Sure.
There. She kind of just looks over at everybody like, happy?
No.
Harper will just go and then roll her eyes. Does the name Hawthorne ring any bells as far as connections, contacts? Is it possibly somebody that the house ever dealt with? That kind of
Sure.
thing.
You're going to make me remember how those advantages work.
They're both in on my sheet if you want to just.
Yeah. All right. So connections. You can call in assistance with a favors check, or for a favor. Advice, information, help using a persuasion check. And contacts, you can make an investigation check in a minute just by trying to get in touch with your by contacting your contacts. So I will allow a investigation check investigation check.
Okay.
Or expertise streetwise if you have it.
Don't have that.
Okay.
I'll just use investigation and see what happens. Where is the page I need to be on? 19?
19.
Yep.
So in fact, you do have some information about Mr. Hawthorne. You are aware that Mr. Hawthorne is an antiquities dealer. However, he is an old man. He was in his 80s. He's never been married and he has no children. But he was a dabbler and loved purchasing anything to do with the supernatural or magic. Doing a little bit of Googling, you can also see that his store is currently closed. And you can find information online that Hawthorne was seen being hauled away in an ambulance from his store a little over a month ago. And he's currently in an asylum.
God damn it. Okay. When did this robbery happen?
Just a few nights ago. Tuesday. Mardi Gras.
Okay.
Sorry, Wiki,
Why are you sorry?
because my camera cut out.
Oh yeah, you bounced. But it's just you and
I was gonna say it's just me and you.
yeah, just you
We
and Aunt
switched
Puppy.
places.
You switched.
And puppy pine for your better half. Brandon keeps saying it's so cute.
So cute.
See, it's fine.
I will murder you both.
Suck you out.
But the tarts, man, tarts.
No, but seriously, like,
Cute
how cute is
card.
it that they called it the Boston Tea Party? That's so cute. Love it.
So cute.
So
Yeah.
cute.
The asylum is so cute.
No,
A
I
suck
didn't-
out. A suck out.
Oh my
All
god.
right, so
Did
Yeah.
Carrie and did Carrie and Wiki, did Carrie and Harper both Google Hawthorne and figure out about him, or did just Harper know about it?
I'll let you both have that information.
Okay.
Carrie would also then be able to immediately, get an address for the asylum that he was in, and
Okay. I just didn't know if that was like a happening together type thing. Like she was like,
She
I know
probably would
about
have. She probably would have just moved your fingers off the keyboard so that she could have used it right there. Well, because
like the people that touch my computer screen with a pen. Drives me crazy.
yeah, she would have just been like, wait, that sounds really familiar, and then she would have gone into some areas of the web you've never seen before. Yeah,
GeoCities.
All right.
yeah, yeah.
So as you
Nice
guys
names.
are speaking with Mr. Abernathy, and recollecting what you know about about Hawthorne, why don't we go ahead and take a break as you guys figure out what your next steps are going to be?
No.
We will be back shortly. We're back.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for sticking with us through our break. We are still the Untold Stories Project. This is still episode 17 of Something in the Dark, Just Another Day. And when we left off, our heroes had traveled from New Orleans to Camden, Maine, where they were discussing a pair of books which had been stolen from Darren Abernathy and the implications thereof. So now that you guys have talked to Abernathy and had a chance for him to tell you about the books, I will allow an expertise magic or occult or history check to see what you know about these books.
What were my 3 choices?
Magic, occult, or history.
Or history. Okay.
27.
27.
This isn't good. I'm gonna be super pissed.
I'm gonna guess that wasn't good.
I mean, it's a 24, but also my magic is 15. So, like, it should be better.
That
All right,
24 is so cute.
That's not cute. That's not cute.
Yada.
My magic is better, but I will roll occult in case there are different things to know.
Okay.
24 occult.
Okay.
Wanna-
All right. So, you're actually all going to know everything there is to know.
Okay, good.
So about these books, like Abernathy said, the book that you're able to remember, which is the one that the Nazis had put together.
Was that book 1 or book 2? Or
that was
does
the
it really
first
matter?
one that he got. That was the
Okay.
first one he got his hands on.
First book, okay.
Yeah.
Nazi book.
Yeah. So the book is a collection of religious texts from all over the world. They're a hodgepodge of different works. The parchments, however, which the words are written on, are much older than the words that are written. The Nazis had done some efforts to they took photographs of the pages, and years later, as computers were developed, those pages were scanned in, and underneath the writing, under the high, zooming in real well, they could see that there were, in fact, musical notes written on these pages. However, and Muse, this especially leaps out at you and Orpheus, the music was written in such a high-pitched range that it's only been with the introduction of electronic instruments that any musical instrument could actually play these notes. Possible that a magical creature might be able to hit that range, but a human voice couldn't hit it, and no instruments that existed in the ancient world, or like I said, any time until the creation of electronic instruments could.
Harper's just, writing down the stuff as we're thinking of it, and she just kind of goes, high pitch, makes people go crazy, and turns to Orpheus and goes, was the Odyssey real?
I was thinking sirens myself too. So Aaron, any?
Because like the person who wrote the book was Greek, and a sailor with no tongue.
So, there's 2 different questions here, but was the Odyssey real? Yes-ish.
Yeah, he got a really good publicist though.
Exactly. Like, that's kind of like saying, is Hamilton real? It's like, did what happened in Hamilton more or less happen? Most of it, yeah. Was it exactly like that in that order with those specific things from those specific people? Sometimes. As Warden Maximus put it, based on actual events.
Yeah.
But, so, yes, parts of the Odyssey were real. The broad strokes, definitely.
Now I want to see a rap musical based on the Odyssey.
I mean, who doesn't really?
I mean, I don't know what the Odyssey is, so please don't be mad at me.
What?
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
The Iliad and the Odyssey?
Odysseus.
No.
One of the
Those words all sound familiar, but I don't recollect what they are being put together in the fashion that you were putting them together.
Achilles.
Yeah,
The movie Troy starring Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Kind of.
That's
Who
not
played
bad. That's as
Odysseus?
close as I
Was
can
that
get.
was that Sean Bean who played Odysseus?
Odysseus didn't die, so it could have been Sean Bean.
Poor Sean Bean.
I think it may have been, but
Oh, broke Aaron. Sorry.
Sorry, guys. I mean, like, I know, like, vaguely what you guys are referencing, but, like,
So
I'm
the-
dyslexic, so, like,
story-
reading wasn't, like, a hobby for me. So, like, I have a lot of times when it comes to book things, like, I'm not as
Okay.
familiar.
Trojan horse.
The Iliad was the story of the Trojan War. The
Horse.
Odyssey is the story of Odysseus trying to make it back home after the Trojan
War.
And pissing off several of the gods, but most notably Neptune right before, or not Neptune, Poseidon. Because it's Greek, not Roman. Pissing off Poseidon right before he left. And so the trip that should have taken, a few months ended up taking, I believe it was like 20 years.
Yeah.
It was
10. It was 10 for each.
It was 24 books.
Well, yeah, it's an epic poem.
It's an epic poem.
Yeah. When it says 24 books, do not think of the books as 300-page novels.
Think of two books. The Iliad and the Odyssey are two separate books, as you would consider them books.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, you're
being
familiar.
Dyslexic made me not feel that smart when I was
Yeah.
so I did not read for fun.
I understand. Also dyslexic. You know how the Bible has different books.
Yeah, they'd have
It's kind of like that.
Things. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, all told, the Odyssey is 12,000 lines of poetry.
Okay.
So
I mean, that's a lot, but
But that basically
doesn't feel like 24 books.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or no, like 300 words. Yeah. Anyway, point being, along the way of the Odyssey, there were all sorts of things like Odysseus seeing the Cyclops and Circe and
becoming a pig for a while and
becoming a pig for a while. And
So he actually didn't become a pig. It was his.
no, he didn't. It was
well, yeah.
But else.
I would argue that he was a pig the whole time.
Yeah.
But
See, being
Scylla and
Odysseus is
Charybdis.
fine. It was being one of his sailors that would really put you at risk.
This is true. But yeah, so he spends 7 years as a captive of Calypso.
there was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. It was an Odyssey.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, but part of it did involve him sailing past the Sirens and having the good sense to know that if, his men could hear the sirens, they would crash his ship going to the Sirens. So
Right.
he made everyone on the ship plug their ears. But he wanted to hear their song, so he had them tie him to the mast while they sailed past so that he could listen but couldn't go drown himself.
See, and now that you guys have said all of those things, I know all of those stories, but did
Yeah.
not know that they were all swooshed together.
Yeah,
I
they're
get
all
it.
part of the thing.
Yeah, I didn't realize they were all part of it. So I know, like, from conversation, knowing these stories, but I did not know that they were all the same thing.
Yep. So, all right. Anywho, but yes, to answer your question, on Earth Prime, the events of the Odyssey are mostly factual, but whether it all happened exactly the way Homer recounted it,
Sirens are a real thing.
oh yes,
Would those musical notes match up with what I know of sirens? And
Ooh.
does it seem like, yeah, that could be the notation of the siren song?
I will allow an expertise music.
Fantastic.
News I will also allow if you wish to make an expertise music.
I rolled another 19 for a 37.
Nice.
I don't think I'm beating a 37.
I mean, you not without, well, even with a natural 20, you're not
No,
beating.
I'm not.
Roll it anyway. See what you get.
Because a rule that we often forget is that on a natural 20, it does increase the success by one value. So
It's not enough funny.
it's not a natural 20. Okay.
Nowhere near a natural 20.
Orpheus. It is in the right range to be the song of a siren. But something about the bits of what you know about the notes that, were scanned in, you don't think it was one of their typical songs, but it could have been sung by a siren.
I'll show that information. So this could definitely be in the sirens range.
Are we looking at these scanned copies?
You can. You can pull them up now that you're thinking about them.
So we're in the range of the sirens. But this isn't necessarily this isn't their greatest hits. It might not even be their song.
We're talking B-side?
Maybe, or...
Are you meaning range as in the pitch level of a siren, but not necessarily a song that they would sing?
Well, I mean, I don't know. So it's in the pitch level. Like, this matches what we know of siren songs that do really bad things.
Okay.
But the specifics of itself don't match up with the songs that they typically sing. So it could be a B-side, or it could be a human creation.
Someone manipulated a siren song to
created a siren song,
Okay.
or it could be another monster entirely that operates on the same logic.
same principles.
Hey, Larry.
Yes.
Can we talk to Babel?
So fun fact. I just want to know, as a player, where are we doing all of
these
this?
guys are still up in the
Yeah.
upstairs of the deli.
I took this poor man.
I'd rather not. What do we need?
I want to see if he can read that.
He might be able to read it without going crazy.
That was kind of my...
Yeah.
I mean, Carrie would like to keep it up on her screen as little as possible. Because Carrie has had a bad experience when she's tried to scan magical books in. So she would like to keep scanned magical books off of her computer as best as possible.
I mean, I can probably read as much as him, but it's not exactly what's written on the page, it's what is underneath is kind of the problem. I don't know how much the book was restored to the original text versus what was added on top of it.
Well, also, you're looking at pictures on a screen of some of the pages that were scanned in.
Right.
Like, if you actually had the books present, Babel could probably interpret them.
Mhm.
I'm just wondering if we can decipher anything from what we can see, other than its music and pitch level. Trying to
Wait, sorry.
Do the notes
is
spell
there
it?
is there other meaning underlying the musical
we-
note?
Wait, hold up. Sorry. I've been so out of it. We're trying to find the meaning in the music.
No.
No, no, no.
Okay.
Kinda.
Like
The
that's what it
meaning in
sounds
the
like.
music, no. The theme behind the music, yes.
Influences.
The
origin.
vibe, we want the vibe, not the direct words.
We are
Cool.
trying to understand what the music is trying to do.
Cool. Can I do something if, I'm a music teacher and occasionally have to do music theory and stuff to make them understand and try to get the gist of it?
That sounds like a little too close to actually analyzing it for safety's sake.
Again, I'm also going to point out what is scanned is not necessarily pages in order.
Right.
And incomplete.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's probably not a lot that you can get, but I'll allow a sacred math check.
Sure. You know what? I have 2 hero points. Have a hero point and have a natural 20 on that. So that's a 35.
Okay.
I'm very excited about living with a crazy roommate. That'll be cool.
Yeah, you're welcome. I have ultimate effort, man.
Another crazy roommate. Because you've got one in your pocket.
Well,
He's in my backpack and he's not crazy. He's a demon.
Okay. So
Tomato, tomato.
It is Freebird.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
For my own purposes,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go ahead and spend an hero point and get a 38 on expertise music
Uh-huh.
based on something I might or might not have just read.
I mean,
Carrie is so panicked right now that this has been up on her screen for so long.
so again, Muse, it's incomplete. It's hard to tell. You don't see any way that this comes together as music as you've ever heard it. Looking at what you know about sacred math, and you get the sense that these are fragments of a very powerful spell to open a gate. But you're not quite sure where that gate would be. I mean, you don't think it's anything as simple as, teleport across the planet. It is opening a door to a different realm.
yeah.
But like I said, you're not quite sure what realm.
It's a spell.
Brandon, I'll text you what you're able to see.
Okay.
It's meant to open something.
Like a box, something? Or
Like
a room?
a realm.
Oh, so something small then. Awesome.
Oh, yes, nothing that important. It's just weird.
Carrie will
mean-
close the screens quickly.
Yeah, I've got it memorized at this point.
Yeah.
Hey, Aaron,
Yeah?
is the Orpheon popular enough that I am aware of his existence?
Who?
The Orpheon?
Who?
Okay.
That would be a no. Opens a gate. ever the conspiracy theorist, Harper is going to pull out her phone and text, hold on, Dutch,
Okay.
and ask, that Nazi thing you stopped, was there music involved in that?
The Nazi what?
The way back when he stopped the old one from coming into our world and got his superpowers and his buddy.
Just
I didn't write that down.
question mark, send.
Good. He will not respond immediately, but I'll let
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
fine.
Dutch left you on red.
Actually, it's still unread, but
I think I know what these notes could do. The gate idea, I think, is right. The location, my guess, is the underworld.
Are you saying these things out loud, or are you saying these things as Brandon?
I am saying these things out loud as Orpheus.
Okay.
I don't think it was created to take people to the underworld, but with these notes alone, it's not impossible to create a tune that would do it.
So is this a way to get a soul out of the underworld?
Insight check.
By me or by you?
By me on you. Spending a hero point.
keep the hero point. I don't allow hero points for.
I've got so many to spend.
Yeah, but I don't allow hero points for player-to-player interaction.
Gotcha. So, what, deception or persuasion or whatever?
Yeah. Probably deception.
Is it because I'm trying to like just ask him without
giving
telling him?
Yeah.
I would like to use send magic. 26. Yeah, Carrie moved her deception
Can I insight?
Since the last round.
Can I insight?
I mean, this is theoretical.
I mean, to be fair, Carrie probably was like, if you're saying it's not to get to the underworld, is it to get out of the underworld?
No. I don't think it was intended to. But I think these notes can do that. Am I repeating that correctly?
Point of clarification, Brandon?
Yes.
You don't think that the notes that are scanned in would be enough?
Okay.
But
that seems like an awfully big leap of logic to their motives without having anything to base that on.
Yeah, I think this song could do that. Whether or not it was designed to do that is unclear.
Let's try and focus on what it's designed to do before we try and guess what else it might be able to do.
Well, that's what I got.
So right now, we just know that it has the range of a siren is not necessarily their specific song. So it could potentially be another creature or a B-list song that they don't use very often.
I wouldn't even rule out the possibility that it was human made. Someone with the understanding of these notes and of how all this works.
But that the fragments that we are able to see appear to be a gate of to create a gate of some kind to another realm.
The resonance of these notes are such that they could create a gate. Looks like probably to the underworld, So that potentially, with these notes, I don't know if this song will do it. This specific song would do it, but with these notes, you could compose a song that would do that. It is these notes are vibrating at the frequency of Hades.
So ultimately, we need to start and recover these books.
Yes.
And I think there are at least 3 of them.
Fair.
You think
Yeah,
there's 3 books?
I think there are at least 3. I think there are the 2 we know of, and the one that
Well,
drove Hawthorne crazy.
Yeah.
Well, do you
it
think the
drove-
potential
I
is?
wouldn't. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you think the potential is that the people that have scanned these books in have essentially created a potential 3rd book
No,
unintentionally?
There's
no.
not enough information for that. The 2 books were not the complete pages. I'm with Harper here. The Hawthorne had another book. It made him go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's no longer at the hospital and got out, maybe say Tuesday night.
You could always go check. Meanwhile, this whole time, Abernathy is still just kind of sitting there going.
I feel like he's just casually sipping his coffee, just like staring at us like,
No, he
"What
looks
the
quite
fuck?"
terrified.
Yeah, I was like, he's just like sitting there like, what the fuck is happening, guys?
Yeah.
As we all do the red string theory, like on the wall
my
Yeah,
with everything.
Micah,
We're just sitting at the table, sharing notebooks and stuff.
Micah, the common sense who's only been half present for the conversation, will look up and go, I apologize. I'm afraid you have found yourself caught in something much bigger than you would have ever expected.
Her dream makes a little more sense now. If someone doesn't know what they're doing, they could accidentally, or maybe even purposely, create a portal to hell and let all of Hades' legions come out. Hence
Or-
monsters and unending and bad.
I mean,
Or,
you could.
they could just let Cerberus out and we could just play with the puppy.
Yeah, I don't think you
her
want to play with
dream-
Cerberus, but
I don't think her dream really points towards playing with a puppy.
yeah.
I know, I'm just saying though. Like
There's
all
also
puppies
the
are good puppies.
potential. There's also the potential that somebody who figures out what this does and knows what they're doing could use it to change the frequency to somewhere else.
Or is and it may not be Hawthorne. It could be that they waited for Hawthorne to go crazy from the book that he had so that they could come in and take it.
Well, let's go check the hospital and see if Hawthorne is there, or maybe even call if somebody.
Uh,
Can somebody put on
I'm
hold?
gonna turn to Jaren for a minute and go. Is there an additional reason that you look so freaked out right now?
The topic of conversation is not enough.
That's why
I
was
mean,
apologizing.
This is child play.
It's a Tuesday, so no.
For
Actually, it's Saturday. But
us.
You
No.
were a little freaking out when we got here, so
I mean, perhaps this is commonplace for you. I find this all very, very troubling.
Yes,
I never expected to live through an apocalypse. Which
Well,
I
you
don't
probably
necessarily
won't.
think that I will.
Oh, if it makes you feel better, you've lived through 3 already.
yeah. There's like one
I-
every other day.
I don't think that's going to make them feel better.
No, it doesn't. Thank you.
Okay. So if this all makes you uncomfortable, if you're not in a comfy place, I'm gonna suggest very strongly stop collecting shit that is magical and occult in nature.
So guys, why don't we all take a quick deep breath? Just take a breath.
Just Just
So
saying.
why don't we split up?
Don't
Why
touch
don't
the magic.
a couple of us go and check at Hawthorne at the hospital? And then I can go back to Darren's place. Is it okay if I call you Darren?
Sure, certainly.
I'll go back to Darren's house. And Larry, if you want to come with me, we can do some investigation and see what we can find, what we can sense, what we can extrapolate from what was taken at your location. And then you guys can the rest of you guys can go and check in with Hawthorne, see if he is still at the hospital, see if you can, mildly interrogate him on his happenings.
I think that perhaps Larry, the well-dressed priest among us, might have a better chance speaking with Hawthorne than, I don't know, the me of it all.
That's fine. My only thing was I wanted someone that essentially spoke demon in case, because I can't sense magic. So
For
I
what it's
can't-
worth, neither can I.
Oh, well, fuck.
And Harper goes, yeah, I speak Arabic, French, Latin, Demonic, Greek, Old Norse, English, Hebrew, and Russian. Does that cover it for you?
Yes, but can you sense magic? But you can sense demons though, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was me
Yeah.
asking.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess
I-
that's true. Yeah, you can sense, because my thought is like if the person or thing or whatever it is that got into the house to take this thing, like I won't be able to see it really because there's no technology other than if I ask neighbors for footage. But like if there's no cameras or anything, like other than just being like, well, shit, yeah, your window's broken. Like, that's the extent of the information I can provide. But if someone is there with me that can also like feel things and
I think
stuff.
I think ideally, Muse, you should go and see if you can pick up on either if there's a resonance left over from the books or the protective wards that were used on them. Perhaps you
Perfect.
can kind of follow those.
That's what I was thinking.
With the ritual that you used to follow Kyteller, maybe we could reuse it or repurpose it.
And maybe we could even use some of my drones to do some sort of similar magic to what we did with what's her name? Alice. Where we use them to kind of help with some of the positioning, places we can't be or stay.
And then
All
when
right.
you're done, three of you Harper, and Muse can maybe visit the bookstore and see what you can get into, whether extra legally or not.
Oh, you're talking about Hawthorne Shop?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That seems fair. I definitely think I definitely want oh my god, Brandon, why can't I think of your character's name right now?
Orpheus.
Orpheus.
Thank you. I was like, it starts with an O, and we kept talking about Odyssey, so like that was all I was thinking in my head. I was like, that's not right. Definitely want you going, because if he's able to tell you anything about the music, like you or Muse are going to be the best two options to be able to help figure that out.
So Orpheus,
feel
come
like-
with me.
Yeah, I feel like Larry and Orpheus also have the best.
Outward-facing presence.
Yeah, I was gonna say bedside manner, but that isn't quite what I'm. Yeah,
They're
I
nicer,
yeah, they're
Less
more
direct.
pleasant.
less direct. That's
I
what
mean,
less
Micah,
direct.
Micah's a teacher,
Well, yes, but Micah is needed elsewhere.
right?
Yeah. I'm also a teacher. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but
I also
you're
teach
a
adults, so that's
college
There's a
professor.
world
That's a
difference
little
between,
different.
Yeah, there's a world of difference between a high school teacher and a
yeah. I don't need as much finesse to tell undergrads that they're idiots for their thesis. So
exactly. Professors are encouraged to be weird.
fair
All right,
point.
so what exactly is our plan?
The Scooby Gang is gonna break up.
Right?
So me, Micah, and Harper are gonna go back to Darren's place to kind of see what we can sense, what we can see, what we can feel. I'm gonna talk to neighbors to see if they have any camera footage of any kind around. Or if there's any street cameras or anything that I can kind of tap into to see if I can catch anything that seems out of the ordinary.
Sure.
And then Larry and
Oreo.
okay, that works. Oreo is gonna go to. I swear there cannot be this many O names. It gets me too confused.
Orpheus.
Orpheus. See, I was gonna say that, but it didn't feel right when I said it. So I'm like,
there's one O name.
Yeah, there's literally one O name other than talking about the Odyssey.
I know, but you got me all confused because then I started reading it, and then it was like just too many things. My brain doesn't work well. Are gonna go to the insane asylum, which feels, I don't like calling it that. I feel
Yeah,
like
we shouldn't call it that.
Yeah, I was like that doesn't feel right.
Psychiatric hospital.
There you go.
Sanatorium.
Okay, yeah.
Let's go with psychiatric hospital.
Yeah, the psychiatric
Sanatorium
hospital.
is definitely not better.
It is not.
Not better.
I don't think he's getting a lobotomy while he's there.
God, I hope not.
Yeah,
Night's still young.
that is true. Babel has not come out yet, so he may.
So yeah, we are going to make sure that
He's there.
he's there, and
Woo! The face characters are going to go
film the
be
cues.
the face. How'd that even? Okay, there it is.
All right. So do we want to deal with team break-in or team talk to the crazy guy first?
Not it.
I guess that means team break-in.
Okay.
Okay.
We will also have confirmed that is okay with Darren before we're just like, all right, guy, we're going to your house.
He
Well, I
already
mean,
said we
told
could.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
we did.
No take
just like-
backsies.
We just kind of grab him by the ear and just drag him to the car. Like, this is where we're going.
Oh no, he's
He may not even want to be there.
yeah, I was gonna say, honestly, he would be more than happy to give you the keys while he goes and collects his lady friend and maybe goes to
And just like fucks right off.
Should absolutely take him up on that offer.
Yeah, I feel like that would probably be best. That he does give us the keys and then just kind of takes a mini vacation for a couple of days.
He is, however, going to bring up the question of whether or not anyone is going to check on Tracy.
Oh shit,
It's
I forgot
on-
about her.
I didn't. It's on the agenda.
Although,
Good.
I guess if some of the stuff, if we can figure out some of the things that we're figuring out, probably will point us where she is.
For what it's worth, for part 2, you all can check out Hawthorne's shop, and Orpheus and I can go check on Tracy. Depending on how our timelines parallel.
All right. So, team break-in.
Woohoo!
Go us. So I'm assuming he gave us the key.
Yes.
He's gonna go off with his lady bit.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so going to his house. His house is very nice. It is, you know, it's outside of the town, where houses are, you know, the better part of a football field away from each other. It's not quite stately Wayne Manor, but it's big, it is fancy. You know, it's the kind of house where you're like, well, of course you have a library. It's probably there right next to the swimming pool.
The wine cellar and
Well, no, the wine cellar's in the basement, but But arriving, you have the keys. There is no, yes, like Warden says, it has columns. There is no security system to turn off. However, he does tell you about the wards that you need to disable as you step over the threshold. Well, any ritual magicians can give me an expertise magic check, which is all three of you.
25. I'm assuming it's not that complex.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Hey, you could have done what I did and rolled a 1.
Yep.
That's why
It's like
I
the
just
it's
did
the fucking snowballs all over again.
That's
Harper-
why I just did the take 10.
Harper, you're pretty sure that it the wards are wards of instant flaming death.
Cool.
Um,
I need to learn those.
Jemmy, Micah is able to recognize that no, in fact, what they are massive magic and strength drains.
Mm.
So if you came in here without turning off the wards, you would be physically
Regular.
weakened and probably cut off from magic.
Hmm. And Carrie's just happy to be here.
However, one thing you will notice is that the strength drain would only drain inhuman levels of strength.
Mm-hmm.
So, like if you're a football player, you're still a football player. But if you're a werewolf, you no longer have supernatural muscles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Makes sense.
If you're a werewolf, you're a fuzzy football player.
Yeah. So, I guess I will take investigation or technology to try to see if there's anything to be seen on by hacking into local networks, or expertise magic if you're trying to pick up residences and whatnot.
Well, luckily my
It's-
investigation and technology are.
It's 9:37. Hey, Dad, take my other hero point and have another 35.
Okay.
I swear to all things holy, if I roll this shitty next week, I'm going to lose my mind.
I mean, that's a 12. That's not a
Yeah.
terrible.
And my investigation, magic, and technology are 15. Like I should be like at over 30 every time.
That's not how dice work.
No.
It's not how
Mathematically-
anything works.
Mathematically, you should average at a 26.
Harper is going. Can Harper sort of bounce back in between the two of them and help each of them with their?
You
I
can
think
help one or
Carrie
the
would
other.
Carrie would want you to look at the window that they broke in to see if there's anything.
I'm gonna
out of
say
the
Harper might
ordinary
be best
outside.
off just doing the investigation and looking for mundane shit, but
Okay, we'll do that then.
Harper understands vagrancy. We expect as much.
Harper will not be doing that.
Take that because that
Harper
is
has a good point.
bullshit.
Ooh.
I don't think you've rolled double digits, have you?
Once,
Twice.
20.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about each of you in order of what you rolled. Harper, you are able to easily find the window that was broken. From the pattern of glass and how it is broken, you're fairly certain that it was broken by like a crowbar or a tire iron or some other metal implement. I guess it could have been a sword that was, used to smash through the window and then kind of knock out enough glass that you could easily climb through without cutting yourself into ribbons. You can, it from where like carpet is scuffed and whatnot, you don't think that whoever broke in knew exactly where they were going, that they had to do some looking around before they made it to the library. Getting to the library, you can see that, things have definitely been, like, this does not seem like a room that is normally in a state of anything other than fastidiously kept up. There are quite a few display cases, the floor to ceiling bookshelves have the rolly ladder thing. And yeah, like there's a number of glass cases. Honestly, in many ways, it looks like in Doctor Strange when you first see the Sanctum Sanctorum, and
Yeah.
Does it look like they knew exactly what they were going for once they got in there?
No, again, it looks like there was that things were rustled, looked through, and then finally, but yeah, the only thing that seems to be damaged is there are two different glass cases. They were on opposite sides of the big table that's in the middle of the room. So kind of facing each other, but not next to each other. And those two cases shattered, you would assume, by the same
tool.
implement.
Yeah.
So that's what you're able to determine with investigation.
Okay.
And you're fairly certain that then whoever came in exited through the same window. They weren't dumb enough to then go out the front door.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Moose.
Okay.
Search, looking through things magically. As soon as you get to the house, you just kind of feel icky. The deeper you go into the house, the more you feel icky. And by the time you get to the library, you're not at the level where it's hard to stand up, but it just feels like something wrong was here. However, there does not appear to be any evidence of anyone having cast a spell recently. You can see the remnants of the wards. They're good. You think you could do better, but they're not the college student who picked up the Necronomicon out of his school library and is messing around.
Yeah.
They were put together by a fairly skilled practitioner.
Yeah.
Are they broken? Like the remnants of them? Does it seem like no one cast something to stop them? They just basically were like, I break glass, I steal thing.
Yeah, so that is exactly it. It looks like the glass was broken. It looks like, you can still sense the remnants of the enchantment on the wards because the wards were etched into the glass.
Yeah.
Okay.
But obviously, with the glass being shattered, doesn't work anymore. But as you get to what was under, where those books were being kept, yeah, it just feels unpleasant, like the sound of wet sandpaper being run across spikes.
What the hell is he doing in this house?
Harry will offer Muse a water bottle, thinking that she's just nauseous.
Yeah, no, they'll take the water.
Carrie, there are no cameras that are close enough to point towards the house.
Okay.
You are able to find some traffic cam footage nearby. That there's not a lot of traffic on middle of the night on a Tuesday,
right,
in Maine when it's really, really cold out. So, other than, semi trucks that pass through that intersection, which you're more or less willing to, you're more or less, you think that it's unlikely. You do see a couple of cars on those traffic cams. One of which, just kind of, based on time of night, you're like, that feels like it might be it. However, there is enough snow and ice obscuring the license plate that you can't make out a license plate. But you
Can I
can.
at least get like a color and make and model?
It is a blue BMW. And Aaron does not know enough about cars to give you a specific
Okay.
model.
I mean, to be fair, we were watching a crime show last night and they were like, we're looking for a blue sedan.
Is it a bad guy? It's an M6.
So I'm like, cool, blue sedan, super helpful.
So you said blue Beamer?
Yeah. Yes.
Every bad guy in a BMW is in an M6. It's just what you do.
Does it
Okay.
look like a new one?
Yes.
Like a newer model?
So not like, no, they're not driving like a Bug or like a Volkswagen van or
It's a
Or,
Beamer.
Yep.
it's like a nice like modern sedan.
It looks like a 2022 BMW M8.
Oh, he went for the long body. Good on him. Respect the Riz.
I'm sorry. I lost it at long body. What was the model number?
M8.
An M8.
Okay.
Can I make out how many people are in the car?
No.
Okay.
Far too foggy. And also tinted glass. All right. So that's what you guys are able to discover looking around the home. Meanwhile, at the ranch, well, not the ranch, at the hospital.
They sent him to a farm upstate. Oh,
They
no.
said, oh no!
Oh no! He's like a pet that went to the farm.
Well, it is American healthcare, so
Okay, so you arrive at the hospital. What is the plan? Are you just going to go right in and ask to see Hawthorne?
Unless you have a.
that's gonna be my plan. Unless Larry says otherwise.
Okay. So it is bitterly cold. So the parking lot is mostly empty. You're pretty sure that there are very few visitors here today, if any. So it's mostly just staff. Going in, there is a mid-20s African-American man behind the counter who, or the desk, the reception desk, who looks up as you come in and says, "Can I help you with something?" Larry, do you
As I've been walking in, I've been taking out my drumsticks and I've been drumming a little beat kind of like on my thighs.
Uh-huh.
So the entire time, he's been having to make a will save DC 19 or have his memory altered.
Oh, God.
Not gonna lie, Larry's gonna be really confused watching you just bang out a beat on your thighs as we're walking into the hospital.
Got close.
Well, no. He succeeded. It's the memory. It's third degree only. So, but it does continue. So, he needs to save again, and if he doesn't, then it gets like that whole
Right.
over about the other thing.
Progressive.
One more time. There it is.
All right.
And that's an actual fail outright too, so that's nice.
Yep.
So So as we come up to him, that moment as we've been approaching has been altered. We have come up and shown him our IDs as members of the FBI. That there has been a concerning increase in incidents in the area. We think there might be something wrong. They're thinking of calling it Camden syndrome, but we would like to question the man.
Okay.
And then I will stand there and wait patiently. Which
Uh,
brings us up to present.
yeah. Follow me. He'll lead you to Hawthorne's room.
Thank you very much.
When you see Hawthorne's room, you will see that he is he doesn't appear to be restrained. But his hair is disheveled. You know, he's an old man. And he's kind of sitting there clutching his arms and kind of swaying back and forth and muttering to himself as you enter the room.
Larry, by the way, what you noticed, I was just drumming out a beat, walk up, stop drumming, and he says, and the other guy says, yes, of course, let me lead you to him. That's all. That's...
Okay.
Poor Larry is so confused.
Yeah, no, they can't. They could. No, but then he could. But no, of course not.
Then you get a chair, kind of sit across from him, so they just trying to interact with what he's saying. So he's saying that they couldn't. That sure they could. What could they do?
No. You're not a doctor.
No.
But no. I only had a part of the. No, no one could possibly have. What would they do?
What would they do? You only had a part of what?
No. Again, I only had part of the book. No one could have used what I had to other than to maybe go. They could go bad. But what if?
So how much of it did you read?
I'd like a persuasion check.
Can I assist?
Sure.
28 to assist, and I have teamwork, so that's a +5.
Okay.
I think the teamwork just adds +5 to your rolls.
It does, but
so yeah.
No, but it increases my bonus to you by 5.
No.
Oh, it doesn't? Oh, it did.
No.
It makes those rolls easier for you when you're assisting someone else.
Right. All right.
Okay, so then I got a 33 on my assist.
Right. My book. It was the prize of my collection. My book. It was. Lots of people know that there were 2 books, but there weren't. There were 3. There were 3. The monks. There were many pages for the monks to hide. You would need all of them to perform. But here in Camden, there was in 70 years ago. There were witches. There were and they found pages and pages that weren't in the other books. But I found the book. I had the book, and they but but Dale he found out that I had the book. I trusted Dale. I was going to leave the store to him, but after my book was stolen, Dale was gone. He was gone. He left. He was left, and I knew I couldn't call the police because, well, but then that night after the book was gone, after Dale was gone, I heard music in my sleep, a lullaby. But it didn't help me fall asleep. It woke me up. It woke me up to all of those terrible things. And Dale has my book. Dale has my book. But he doesn't have the other books. He doesn't even know the other books exist. He doesn't know where to find them.
Are you talking about Dale Abernathy?
His name's
No.
Darren.
That's
Oh.
Darren.
Sorry, 2 Ds.
No. Dale King.
Who's Dale King to you? How did you meet him?
He was a friend. He was a young man, but a collector like myself, and he took an interest in my shop. Others didn't like him. They thought he was perhaps not a true aficionado of the arts. But I always liked Darren, and I showed him my collection and my shop, and I'm not a young man. I knew someone would have to take over, and I couldn't just let the collection be separated and scattered and end up in the hands of who knows who. So I was planning to give him the shop after I was gone, but after it was taken, he was gone too.
What do you mean gone?
Gone.
You pulled back enough that you disappeared behind the screen. It was great. That was perfect.
Right as you said gone, and then you just
And then you were just gone.
it was so scary.
Yep, I'm out of here. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, hard pass. I don't want these books anymore. No, thank you.
Darren is here. I mean, not here, but he's in town. We just spoke to him an hour ago.
Not Darren. Darren. Who's Darren? No, Dale. Dale gone.
Oh.
Dale stole the book and left.
Okay. Don't think he went too far.
Is the nice man with the wheel on television yet?
I hate this so much.
I'm
I'll
gonna
just-
do something really crazy and probably stupid. But I'm gonna pull out my little Volova. And I'm gonna start playing Careless Whisper. And I'm going to ask him to make a will save because I'm going to try and erase his memory from this point back to the drain.
What is the ranks of your affliction?
It is 9. I
Okay.
haven't updated it yet because I'm back to be level 10.
Give me a D20 plus 9. Because this is going to be a contest of power between you and the spell that made him go insane.
Oh,
I don't think I have much chance of this, but we're gonna try. Oh. 28.
oh, that's pretty close.
I haven't rolled below a 15 tonight.
So you try to use your magic to erase his memory, and you realize that whatever is affecting him is more powerful than your bardic magic. On an order of more power.
Okay.
And with that, it is 10 o'clock.
Yep.
So I think we will find out what happens from here next time. Around our network, I believe we're dark tomorrow night. Is Plain Gia back on Thursday?
It is.
Okay. So Plain Gia will be back on Thursday. The following Wednesday, we should have something on Wednesday. I think it's Titan City.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we will be back here next week for more Something in the Dark. If you enjoy what we are doing and want to support us and read any of our awesome Patreon-only posts, please come support us at our Patreon at patreon.com/UntoldStoriesProject. So heroes, I will give you all a chance to say goodnight and plug anything you'd like to plug. And because I've been doing it all night and making her upset about it each time, I will start with Wiki.
Hey, I've been Wiki, and I got nothing. And Puppy.
I'm Aunt Puppy. I don't really have anything. Just I have some really funny, dirty dad jokes I'd want to say, but I'll keep those to myself. They're really funny though. But play a game. Jemmy.
Join us on our Discord, and maybe Aunt Puppy will share them with you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Okay.
Sorry, I've been like half dead most of the stream. Seems like a thing that happens here. Call me the undead because I keep coming back though. I don't know. We love you all. Take care of yourselves, take your meds, drink water, be nice to yourselves. And hey, you know, life when it feels boring, so go play a speedster. Deuce.
Thanks, undead. So, it's the last chance we'll get to do it, so I'm here for it. We're going to do this the right way. We're going to make it great and wild and put a little bit out here. Take this. It's a plug. In it goes. It is the last 25 hours for you to sign up and join the Valiant Kickstarter. So do your best impression of a loser of a speedster and run your happy butt on over there right now if you haven't. Sign up, give them some money. It's cool. Update, and it might make your Mutants and Masterminds game a little more interesting. So it's there for you. If you're awesome, like non-speedsters, you've already done it. But either which way, support it, have fun, watch us, comment, tell us how great we were doing, how poorly we're doing, or how bad my jokes are. Either way, I appreciate it. And with that, Brandon.
Nothing to plug today, as usual. So be kind to people, especially yourself. Aaron?
That is it for those of us at the Untold Stories Project. Until next time, be careful out there, and make sure that you don't run into something in the dark. Bye.
We're off.